สวัสดีตอนเช้านะครับยินดีที่ได้รู้จักคุณ that means welcome, and it's nice to know you, to meet you, but you could also say, which what I was supposed to say, which was Yindi Tonarap Su Chong Sakat Malin, an American in Bangkok, means welcome to the channel. Penyang Ai Bang, which means how y'all doing. Hello everyone, welcome. Today we're going to talk about a few pressing subjects in the news. One is weed. Weed has been a subject that's been discussed quite often in the past few months. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Andy. We'll also talk about Thai crypto, and a few things I didn't know. Also about electricity here in Thailand, and about what you should be wearing when you go to the beach. And basically just a little news wrap up. So, before I continue, I'd like to give a big shout out to Mr. Bilal, Mr. Tom, Mr. David, and Mr. Dimitri, as well as everybody else who contributes to the channel. If you'd like to show your appreciation, if you like this stream, if you like the channel, you can click thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, please do so. And remember to hit the notification bell. And check out the description. It will tell you everything you need to know. How you can get in touch with me through social media or whatever. How you can get some merch. Go to AmericanInBangkok.com for your merch. So yeah, remember to smash the like button and subscribe and all that good stuff. You can join the channel. There's a lot of ways you can help. Good morning, Tom. Good morning, everybody. The first thing we're going to talk about is marijuana. The weed, the ganja, the dope, man. And this is something that, you know, I'm interested in it, but quite frankly, you know, I don't know how I feel about it being legalized here. And I'll tell you why in a few minutes. But I just saw an article, when was this? This was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. Bangkokjack.com. Pot smoking tourists not welcome in Thailand. Now, as much as I like Thailand as a tourist destination, I think it's fantastic. I think it's better than a place to live. If you're here as a visitor, it's awesome. It's almost a paradise. But if you're living here, it's a little bit different, obviously. And I was thinking about this. I don't really know how I feel. Good morning, Dallo. I don't really know. Carlos, how you doing? I don't really know how I feel about this. I mean, I'm not against it, but I do think there need to be some guidelines in place. But the first thing, just this title alone pisses me off. Pot smoking tourists not welcome in Thailand. Oh, a year ago you were crying about, oh, we need the tourists. Please come. All you expats travel around. We need the domestic tourism. And then you're also crying about how everybody who's coming here isn't spending enough money. You only want the high dollar tourists. Now you don't want the pot smoking tourists, but pot is legal here. So what gives? You know, it really grinds my gears. Now, the thing is that, I don't know if you guys know this, I've mentioned it. In 5 days, Prayut, the Prime Minister, Prayut Chan-o-cha, is supposed to relinquish his position as Prime Minister. Now, that's kind of, depends on who you believe, but his opponents, numerous opponents, are saying he needs to get out. he's saying, oh, well, I didn't really take position until a couple of years later. I didn't take the position, so I really should be allowed to stay for a while longer. There's supposed to be an election next year. So I don't know how that's going to affect everything, but once he's out of office, that's going to change things. Now, the guy who's in charge of the weed, the prime minister, the deputy prime minister and health minister, Atm Finder, he is in favor. He's the one who basically got this legalization passed. And, I spoke to one guy and I asked him, do you like Atm? And he said, well, I didn't used to like him. And this is a guy who had a cannabis dispensary. I didn't used to like him, but now I like him because he's my boss. If he somehow manages, and I don't think he will, but if he somehow manages to become the new prime minister, all you pot smokers won't have anything to worry about. Everything should be copacetic, and weed will stay legal, and who knows what they're going to do with it. But I'll get to that in a few minutes. There's some things going on. But if he doesn't win, you don't know what you're going to get, because there are some people that they've never smoked a joint in their life, or a bowl, or taking a hit off a bong, or whatever. What are those things called? The thing you squeeze, you put your joint on the inside of it. The power hitter. It's got like a little cone, and then it's got a funnel sticking out. It's like a funnel, and it sticks out. And on the inside, you put the joint, and then what you do is the joint's lit, you squeeze it, and you get a big hit. Power hitter, I think that's what it was called. I don't know. However you want to smoke. I don't know that, there's such a large number of people in the government who are anti-marijuana. I can't really see them totally reversing the bill. I can, however, see them making it for medical use only. But when I see this, pot smoking tourists not welcome in Thailand, and the health minister is discouraging tourists from visiting the country only to smoke weed just 2 months after new laws were passed that have largely decriminalized the drug. We don't welcome these kinds of tourists, Atm Finder told reporters when asked about recreational marijuana use among foreign visitors. So what does that mean? Well, he said only to smoke weed. I don't think anybody's coming to Thailand only to smoke weed. I don't know. I used to be a big pot smoker. Now, I don't know. It doesn't do anything for me. I'm not really all that excited about it. It's not like, oh my God, I can't believe it. I'm a little bit in shock when it happened. I was a little bit in shock, but oh, well, that's good to hear, Dallo. But, it's legal now, semi-legal, decriminalized, whatever you want to call it. People can use it. But this is a country that relies on tourism. As much as they want to poo-poo it, as much as they want to say, oh, well, we only want the rich tourists. Guess what? I only want people, to rich tourists as well. I mean, but guess what? That doesn't always happen. I want to drive a Ferrari and a Lamborghini. I want all these things. I don't really care. But let's say that I want all these things. Doesn't mean I'm going to get them. And they're not going to get all these rich tourists. And now they're telling people, oh, don't come here just to smoke weed. It's just stupid. And he says some really stupid things. Like, you filthy Farang. You're the one who brought the virus. In 2018, Thailand became the first Southeast Asian country to legalize cannabis for medical use. In June, the entire plant was decriminalizing, leading to widespread recreational use. Well, the genie's out of the bottle now. I can't see them turning back and saying, sorry, you can't use it. You can't use it anymore. Now, they may try to make it medical use only, but guess what? Just like in some parts of the United States, what's going to happen is people just go to a doctor and go, oh, my aching back, the marijuana helps me with pain. And then they'll get a card and they'll be allowed to smoke it. So it's just going to be another a little barrier, but it's such a weak barrier that I can't see it working. I can't see them. Really, the truth is I don't think that they'll do this. Smoking in public. Those smoking in public face a 3-month jail sentence or fines up to $705.82. I don't know where they came up with that one. I don't know what that is in baht. Maybe it's 25,000 baht. I don't know. Anakin's comments come even as foreign arrivals start to pick up in the tourist-reliant country. Southeast Asia's second largest economy expects 8 to 10 million arrivals this year, above an earlier forecast of 7 million. Now, I heard the other day that they were at 4 million. And this is, let's say that they get to 4.5 million by the end of August. That leaves 4 months. I guess they could hit, they could get 1 million a month and hit it, but this is nowhere near what it used to be. And I think they are going to be in for a rude awakening if they think they're going to hit 40 million next year or the year after that. I just don't see it happening. I think there's too many other places competing with Thailand as a tourist destination, and I think the word is out. And, now with the internet and with the pandemic, I think that there's too many deals, too many places close to home, and I think it's not going to happen. So that by him saying this, oh, don't come here only to smoke weed. Well, nobody's going to come here only to smoke weed. You might end up only smoking weed. You might end up smoking weed, banging hookers, looking at temples every once in a while, whatever it might be. But I don't think people are just going to come here and buy a bag of weed and just do nothing but sit there and smoke weed. Let's see here. Thailand has focused its cannabis policy on the $790 million industry built around its medical and health benefits. Anatin said, however, recreational use could be explored once there was better understanding of the drugs. I'm sorry. I just think he is so ill-equipped for his position. Once there was a better understanding of the drug, there is a quite good understanding of the drug. So I don't know where they are. We don't want to believe the Americans or the Swedes or whoever else has been testing it. We don't want to believe them. We're going to believe ourselves, our own test. Okay, whatever. This might come in the next future, in the near future. I got news for them. People are smoking it recreational, and they have been, and they're going to continue to. Thailand's cannabis policy has also drawn interest from regional neighbors like Malaysia, which is studying the use of cannabis for medical purposes. Now, I can see it being used in Malaysia for medical purposes, but I don't see it being used, legalized or decriminalized for recreational use. Now, the funny thing is that now there is a new bill outlining the limits on ganja use. People will be allowed to grow no more than 15 cannabis plants for household use, while selling and advertising cannabis and cannabis-based products online and in vending machines will be prohibited. This bill has not been finalized. It is going before Parliament for a second reading. But I do believe they think it is going to be eventually be finalized. Section 18 of the bill stipulates that those who want to grow cannabis plants for household use will be allowed to grow no more than 15 plants per household. They can register within 1 day without paying registration fees. That's 15 plants for one household. I think is pretty good. I think you're going to be okay I think you'll be just fine. But let me continue here. Other groups that will be allowed to register for growing the plants include hospitals, medical practitioners, dental practitioners, Thai traditional medical practitioners, applied Thai traditional medicine practitioners, traditional Chinese medicine practitioners, state agencies, the Thai Red Cross Society, and animal hospitals. They can make medicines from the plants for patients without seeking permission. This is important. Where is it? What I saw here. As for business and commercial purposes, Section 15 stipulates that those who grow, process, and extract the plants for sale must seek permission from authorities. For small-scale business operators who grow no more than 5 rye of cannabis, if they seek permission, they would be liable to a jail term of no more than 1 year and or a fine of 100,000 baht. For large-scale operators who grow more than 5 rye, if they fail to seek permission, they face a jail term of no more than 3 years or a fine up to 300,000 baht. Now, those who export cannabis without permission could face a jail term of up to 5 years or a fine of 500,000 baht. You don't want to be trying to get the stuff out of here. That's just stupid. And, I saw that the female basketball player, Brittany Griner, was sentenced to 9 years in prison, and people are crying in the United States. What about all the people in the United States who got busted and they're still in jail, and now it's legalized? Why does she deserve any special privilege? She doesn't. She went into the country knowing full well what's up, and she was an idiot, and she got busted. C'est la vie. I don't feel bad for her. I feel bad. Hey, she's going to have to go through 9 years of prison. Okay, I feel bad about that. That's not something that people want to happen. It's not going to be pleasant for her. But guess what? Do the crime. Or what is it? Commit the crime, do the time. Something like that. All right, let me see. There was something in here that it said about only Thais. Where is this? About the Thais. Only Thais can open the businesses. Those who want to grow cannabis for commercial service purposes must be Thai nationals, aged at least 20 years, while legal entities that want to grow cannabis for commercial purposes must be owned and operated by Thais. So, there are loopholes to that. You can always get your wife or somebody that you trust to register and own it and operate it. But I dare say it's going to happen where a few foreigners try to get into the game. Section 28 prohibits, and here, this is important also, and I'll tell you why in a second, online advertising of the sale of cannabis flowering buds, hashish, extracts, and equipment used for smoking cannabis. Violators would be liable to a jail term of no more than 1 year and or 100,000 baht. The bill also bans exaggeration or false advertising of other parts of the cannabis plant used as herbs, and violators would face a jail term of no more than 1 year or 100,000 baht. Now, what's important, this says equipment used for smoking cannabis. Where was it here? You're not even allowed to advertise. I don't believe you're allowed to advertise growing equipment. But basically, they're trying to get weed in the same category as weed when it comes to how it's advertised. Certain premises are off limits to cannabis smoking, including temples, parks, public parks, and restaurants. So, I dare say you're the best way to go about using the evil weed is to buy it in a legal dispensary, which there are plenty of those around. Hang on. And if you want to make brownies or something, do it yourself. Figure out the recipe, use YouTube or whatever, right? If you want to smoke it in your house, smoke it in a friend's house, whatever. Don't go out walking around smoking it. Because I think the more of it you the more of it you do things that are kind of iffy, the more that you open yourself up for problems. You know, and I've said this before many times, but I haven't said it in a while. There is a rule that I was taught by a Thai businessman, and what he said was never put yourself in a position of disadvantage in Thailand, especially if you are a foreigner. Dai Prayut, you always want to have the advantage. Dai Prayut. So, there's something to be said for that. Now, let me see this here. What are we doing? Let me read some of these here. Flights are fully booked, arriving in Thailand for September. Yeah, I think people want to get back here now, but I don't know that it's going to continue. And I think the tourists they're going to get are going to be the Chinese, the Indians, the Russians, and to a lesser extent, Westerners. Not that it really matters, Well, people say no going back now, but you know what? This is Thailand. TIT, baby. This is Thailand. You never know, Problem with the legal dispensaries is the price is 10 to 15 times higher than the street price for Thai stick. I don't know. I saw some Thai stick. It was, I think it was 250 baht a gram or something like that. I don't know what the price is on the street. It does seem a bit expensive to me. When stuff is, $15, $20 for 1 gram, and a gram is like 1 doobie. Thank you, Tom. I get a brownie on you. Thank you so much. Khap kun mak. Khap kun mak kun Tom. Choke D. They have let I didn't know this. There are super chats, and there is something I didn't even know this. It's been going on for months, and I didn't look at the little YouTube like updates. They have these updates on your channel, and there's something called a super thanks, where if you click on super thanks, it's just like a super chat, but I guess there's a little animated dude or whatever. Maybe I've been seeing that and I didn't even know that's what it was. I always thought it was just a super chat. I like the whole KISS theory. Keep it simple, stupid. Don't give me too many options. You can get excuse me, sir, you can get 2 doobies from a gram. Well, Dre, I beg to differ. Some people like big doobies. They like big old fatties. But yeah, you're right. You can get and if you really want to stretch it, you stick it in a bowl. But the prices are, they're not cheap. And it'll add a fair amount to your budget if you're someone who wants to smoke all the time and you're buying like an eighth like every 3 days or something like that. It'll add up. I'll have a gram of this and a gram of that. How much? 14,000 baht? I don't know. Something about, I never really liked bongs, and I always liked a joint. For me, it was more social, and also it was so easy. But now the stuff is so sticky, I don't know how it burns. Anyway, weed is, it's something that, like I said, I won't be surprised if a new government comes in and they really crack down on it, and they do turn it into medical use only. I can't see them doing that to all the businesses that have put up all the funds to open up dispensaries. The dispensaries are anybody can go in and buy weed. You obviously did not see my. I think it was a stream, but it could have been a video. My video or stream that I put up where I was showing inside of the. This was Sukhumweed, which is on Sukhumvid over by Prakanong. I don't remember exactly where it is, but and you go in and there's 5, 6, 10 people waiting in line to be served. It's just like McDonald's. Whether they go back to being, whether they go to be just medical use is another story. And I dare say, I thought that this was going to happen at the end of the month, that these rules are going to be put in place by the end of the month. This rule or this law that I was talking about is not yet formalized. It hasn't been put on the Royal Gazette, so it's not done yet. I want to see. There's a couple things that I want to see, and first is what's going to happen with Prayut, which I think he's going to stay in power until the elections, and then after that he should be done. I personally don't want to see Anutin, and I'm not into politics in Thailand or anything like that, but I don't want to see him become the next prime minister, just because his attitude towards foreigners is, I would say, it's piss poor. It's not an attitude that you feel comfortable with as an expat. Anybody who says, it was the filthy foreigners, well, guess what? How do you think he feels about foreigners? Well, this has been for 2 months, Gabe, that it's been legal. Almost 2 months. So, we'll see what happens with that. But, like I said, just yesterday there was an article that said pot smoking tourists not welcome in Thailand. Well, those kind of places will probably not be allowed to sell in the future. People who just throw up a stand on the side of the road or on in a little market somewhere, and then they're gone. They're only there 2 days a week or something like that. Those kind of people, they don't want them selling. They want people who have registered with the government, have brick and mortar establishments. That way they can go after them if anything happens. $10 a gram. $10 a gram. It's about 350, 360 baht, which is cheaper than here. It always amazes me that the cost of living is a fair bit less here than, I haven't seen it at 25 baht a gram. I saw it at 250 baht. Thank you, Norwegian Polar Bear. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Choke D to you. Let me see here. What are we looking at here? For exotics, it's a lot more, but you really don't need that. I don't know. I'm not really into that. Like I said, I'm not into it anymore. I did give it a try, and I have given it a try here in Thailand. But it doesn't do what it used to do for me when I was younger. When I was younger, it was like, hey guys, come on man, let's hang out and smoke a doobie, Now I don't really care about it. And the reason I took it was I wanted to see would it help me sleep better and would it help my pain. It didn't do either. So what's the point of pissing away, $20, $30, whatever it is? you know. Well, propeller head, you're probably special, but what I saw I went to two places, and what I saw in both was that you could get it for about 250 baht. It did not look nearly as good as anything else that I saw in the place. So, yeah, I mean, it's amazing that that used to be the good stuff back in the late 70s and in the 80s. You got Thai stick. It was like, oh, wow, I got Thai stick, man. It comes from that exotic place over in the Orient. And that's what people used to say. It's from the Far East. And they get it and they use a fishing line and tie it on a stick. And it's good stuff, man. I mean, that's kind of funny. Anyway, now for you people out there who are into the crypto, Thailand is among the globe's top 10 cryptocurrency users. This also is from Bangkok Jack, BangkokJack.com. I like this guy. I like what he puts out. There's a couple sites I really like. Thailand is among the top 10 cryptocurrency users in the world, according to a survey by payment information and comparison website Merchant Machine. Now, I'm going to tell you what really struck me as odd is they're talking about crypto ATMs. I haven't seen any, but the survey took into account a host of factors to decide the top 10, which included the number of owners, businesses that accept crypto, and ATMs. The United States, for example, topped the globe with precisely 27.49 million cryptocurrency owners, accounting for 8.31% of its population, even though India had more than 100 million owners in comparison, but 7.3% of its population. Likewise, the U.S. had 33,212 Bitcoin ATMs compared to just 2 in India. Taking into account various factors, Merchant Machine ranked Thailand an overall fifth with 3.62 million owners, accounting for 5.20% of its population. Thailand was rated ahead of Vietnam at ninth, even though this Southeast Asian country had more crypto owners, 5.96 million, and a higher 6.12% of population. You see, now I don't see anything about Thailand having crypto ATMs. Do you guys know anything about crypto ATMs in the US or wherever it might be, the UK? Because I haven't seen anything in Thailand that says, because I tell you what, every once in a while I get some crypto, and if I've got 50 or $100 and it's just sitting there, it's not, most of the time it's not doing much, and I'm not into this, I'm going to invest it and everything. We have a little crypto, my wife and I. I think we have $200 in crypto. It's just sitting there. And it went to shit for a while. Now it's back up to what it was before. But something that would make it much easier, if you could just go to the ATM and pull it out with an ATM card, you pull out your money, that would make it much easier. Now, something else now that I'm on the subject of ATMs. I've got an ATM card with Siam Commercial Bank. It's got a chip in it, as many cards do nowadays. Sometimes I go to the ATM. It could be any ATM, not just Siam Commercials, and it will say, "We're sorry, but this ATM does not use, cannot use this chip." Now the chip's fine. It does work at some ATMs, but it doesn't work at others. It's the ATMs that are not set up yet for the chips. So I'm supposed to pay at the end of this month. I think it's 200 baht. Maybe it's 300. I don't really know. It's 200 or 300 baht. I do know that. I'm supposed to pay to get every year you get charged a fee by the bank. 200 baht, 300 baht, whatever it is at the bank. And I thought to myself, what do I really need this card for? Now, I do use the card sometimes online, but for the most part, I don't use it all that much. And I called up the bank and I said, listen, can I still use Bruce? Too many to count, man. Really, I can't even keep track of how many. It's happened numerous times. I went to Siam Commercial Bank ATMs, and they'll spit out, sorry, this machine cannot process chip cards. And I've been to other banks where they won't do it either. But I called the bank up, and I said, if I don't want to have an ATM card, can I just cancel my ATM card and not pay the 300 baht every year? The lady said yes. I said, well, will I still be able to use the scan function, the QR card function? She said yes. So you don't need to have an ATM card. So I've got until the end of the month, and it's not the money really. Although I'd rather have, just like they say in Thai, gam ki dikwa gam tot. I'd rather have the money in my pocket. Actually, is that what I was trying to say? I'd rather have the money in my pocket instead of theirs. So I'd rather go all the way, or I don't know what to do. It's not that big of a deal, but I'm thinking about it, and I have other ATMs. You really only need 1 or 2 ATM cards. Maybe 1 in the US and 1 or 2 in Thailand, and other than that, I don't need any more. And I got a credit card, so it's like, I got more than enough cards. But every single one of my banks, I've got a card with. And I was thinking about it. I thought, if it's 200-300 baht for every bank, I got 5-6 accounts. It's not much, but nowadays, do I really need the card? No, I don't. So, that's something else. Now, I think that I do have a card actually for the CASHAPP. But for some reason, the CASHAPP will not let you use the card outside of the United States. You can only use it in the United States. So I was like, what good is the card to the people? Well, you can use it in the U.S. What are you doing? Don't you live in America? I said, I'm an American citizen. That's all you need to know. Well, if you're an American, you can use it in America. Okay. But I can't use it in Thailand or anywhere else when I'm traveling. No, sir. And the CASHAPP has Bitcoin on it. So feasibly, I could transfer whatever I had in Bitcoin. Let's say I had $100 on Bitcoin. I could transfer it over to the cash portion of the CASHAPP and then withdraw it with the card if they allowed me to do it here in Thailand, but they don't. Now, there's something else if I can find it here. Yeah, this is what I wanted to read. I took a survey the other day. What is your preferred method of online payment to your favorite creator? This is to be able to pay people on YouTube or wherever else that's online. Not necessarily to pay for like a T-shirt or something like that. Although I guess that, with the exception of, these won't work for paying like for a product online. The options given were Super Chat / Super Thanks, the CASHAPP, PayPal, Patreon, and the cryptocurrency. Now, 25% of the people said their favorite method to support creators is with the Super Chat. 20% said the CASHAPP. 40% said PayPal. Only 3% said Patreon. 13% said crypto. So crypto has very clearly gained, traction, and I don't know what's going to happen here. Maybe they will have crypto ATMs. I don't know, but I've never seen one. And I know it's not the easiest to get your money, at least to get it in cash, like to walk down the street somewhere and go, I'd like to get my, I've got a Bitcoin, I want to get the money right now. It's not quite that simple. The way that I've done it and always done it is you got to transfer it, you got to cash it out, and then you got to transfer it to your bank account. So anyway, it was interesting to see that Thailand ranks number 5 in the world. Let's see here. In Las Vegas, my local Cambodian don't lady, what? Has a crypto ATM in her shop. What machines have given this? I already answered that. Use QR code and money in lieu of ATM. Well, that was the whole idea. Have you tried Lao Thai street food restaurant in Las Vegas? Blockchain is the future, but who is going to come out on top of that race is anyone's guess. It's like the .com adventure. Yeah, I mean, I just don't know all that much about it. And what's funny is that my nephew got involved with NFT and he made a bundle of money. And he's like, I think he's 19 years old. He made a big chunk of money. And I'm like, how'd you do that? Teach me how to do that. I was not familiar with that. No longer live there. Have you been to Ping Pong Restaurant? Alvin, how you doing? Chiang Mai has 4 machines, nothing near Bangkok. Well, it would kind of make sense that I would think that Bangkok would have some. But Chiang Mai for sure with all the, the digital nomads. I like to call them location independent workers. Let me see here. Well, this just says ATMs. Bitcoin ATM Bangkok. Let's see here. Wow, there are. Bitcoin ATM near Bangkok. Are there any Bitcoin ATMs in Thailand? There are 6 ATMs, Bitcoin ATMs in Thailand, 1 in Pattaya, 4 in Bangkok, and it says 1 in Chiang Mai, but I guess that's changed. All very touristy places that you might find likely to visit or live in. You can use our Bitcoin ATM Finder tool. Wow. Well, that's pretty interesting. Let's see here. Oh, so some of them are for Bitcoin only. There's also, I guess, Ether. List of major cities. Chiang Mai, now it says Chiang Mai 4, Phuket 1. So apparently there are some Bitcoin ATMs located around Thailand. If you got enough money and you really need it, just, all you got to do is get yourself a bus somewhere. All right, Dallo. Thank you. I love the CASHAPP. CASHAPP has quickly became my favorite. And unfortunately, you cannot use the Apple Money in Thailand to pay for anything. They don't take it anywhere. They take it in Hong Kong. But that's a bit... the boss. Well, have fun, Dallo. Let's see if they have any other locators here. 9 exchanges to buy. I know they have exchanges. Now, let's see here. Popular exchanges. Coin Mama. Easy low, blah, blah, blah. Works in most countries. Paybis, Bitcoin ATMs. Here it is right here. So let's see what they got here. With the Bangkok Bank, I can get money out of the machine using my phone app. I think that's what you're talking about. No debit card. Yeah, it's called cardless withdrawal. And I can do that with all my banks. I mean, I can do it with Thai Military. I can do it with, I have CASHAPP, Thai Military, UOB, Siam Commercial, and Bangkok Bank. I have 2 at Bangkok Bank. Oh, so this one's not working. Let's see if it works. No, it's not working. Their ATM map is not working. The only thing is that, you got to remember, sometimes you need that debit card for online purchases, like I do at least. I would never give up my card from the United States. I have two cards from the United States. And actually, I'm supposed to have three, one from Charles Schwab, but I have not been able to go to the United States because of the pandemic, and I just haven't had the time, nor do I want to spend the money right now. Eventually, I will open that account, and then that'll be a third account in the United States. So anyway, it's interesting though, because like I said, there's some momentum behind this, behind the crypto movement, and yeah, there's ups and downs, but there is a limited number of bitcoins. There's a limited number of everything, and I don't know. I think only the government could screw up the crypto, and that's what might get in the way, are the governments. Yeah, yeah. I mean, the only thing about using an online purchase, making an online purchase and then paying for it in cash is, we do that every once in a while, and then usually it's like my wife will call me, "Do you got any cash?" And I'm like, "Why?" Because I got something being delivered. I think it's 220 baht, and it's like 720, and I'm like, you know, but my Bangkok bank ATM won't be accepted for online purchases. I need to go to the bank to see if they can work it out. Yeah, I don't even know if you have to go to the bank. You can call them up. Basically, you need to release. There's a little button or whatever, and there's one of those on Siam Commercial, uh, and you know you can use it online. Believe me, but you have to do the right procedure in order to do it, which they are a little slow when it comes to the online payment system internationally. Thailand is a little slow. They've been quite slow. It used to be that you got a debit card and you couldn't use it online. Then it was like, oh, well, get this virtual debit card. K Bank, they may still have that, but they used to have the virtual debit card. Now, something that doesn't make me very happy as someone who lives here is Thailand's electricity rates are set to rise 15% starting in September. 15%! That's crazy. So, what that means is our bill is usually around 5,000, between 5 and 6,000 baht. Let's say it's 6,000. That means my bill is going up 900 baht. That's crazy. This is attributable to the increased dependence on liquefied natural gas purchased in the spot market to substitute for the supply of natural gas from the Gulf of Thailand and gas fields in Myanmar, which are fast depleting. The increase in the electricity rate due to the adjustment of the, what's FT? A fuel tariff will affect all users, including about 22.5 million households. Consumers who use less than 150 units of electricity per month usually use an average of 72 units at the current electricity rate of 3.7 baht per unit. Each household pays an average of 264 baht per month. Well, that ain't me. With the new rate of 4.38%, their electricity bill will increase to about 313 baht. So if we extrapolate that, 150 units, they'll use less than 150. They'll use 72 units, 264. That'd be about 2.5, which would be 148 and 36 would be 184. Oof. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that. That means my bill should actually, my bill will probably go up somewhere around 600 baht. For consumers who use more than 150 units per month, all right, maybe not, average use per household is 332 units. Their current electricity bill is about 1,400 baht per month at the rate of 4.28 baht per unit. Their new bill will increase to 1,645 with the new electricity rate at 4.96 baht per unit. So yeah, I'm gonna say, God, that's 4 times 227 is 908. So there you go. Actually, my bill will probably go up somewhere around between 8 and 900 baht because they decided to raise the rates, and because there's nothing you can do about it. You want electricity, and getting solar panels isn't going to help you all that much. That's quite pricey to start up. And then you got to have the batteries, and batteries are expensive, which is something that people don't think about when they're thinking about electric boats, electric cars, whatever. So, all right, we got a couple other things here before we finish up. I guess some foreigners were running around. They were jogging in Pattaya. And they were in their Speedos. And these people, they're 50, 60 years old. They're older. And in the picture, they're blurred out. This is from Bangkok Jack, actually. I don't know if this came from Bangkok Jack or from the Pattaya News. No, The Nation. It came from The Nation is where it came from. Photos of 2 foreigners jogging down Jomtien Beach Road in their swimming trunks have sparked anger on social media, with many asking if it is even legal. Now, if they were swimming trunks as in like a pair of shorts, swim trunks, no one would say anything. But it says the images have gone viral since Sunday, showing 2 Caucasian men aged between 50 to 60 jogging down Pattaya's Jomtien Beach Road in only blue Speedos and trainers in broad daylight. One netizen pointed out that if a Thai person went jogging in nothing more than their underwear, they would be charged with public indecency. Many others also slammed the local officials for being too lenient with foreigners and letting them break laws. Now, this is the thing. In time, I don't understand how people don't get it. Brittany Griner is one of them. Oh, I'm gonna smoke my vape pen, man. Yeah, all right, I'm gonna get high. Okay, that's great if you're at home where it's legal. But when you go to Russia, it's not legal. So if you get 9 years in prison because you broke the damn law, that's your tough shit. That's your problem. It's not the American government's. Why should they trade some guy, what's his name, Paul Whelan? Why should they trade her and this guy, Paul Whelan, for some guy who's one of the biggest arms dealers on the planet? Why would they do that? That is just stupidity. Pure stupidity. You let her do her time. Okay? And so here these guys are. They come. They have no concern for what Thai culture views as decent. It's not about what they think is okay. It's about what would the average Thai say if I ran down the street with one of my nuts hanging out? They wouldn't like it. As beautiful as my nuts are, they wouldn't like it. Let's see here. Next time we're going to... I may put up a couple of grid-tiered panels to offset. She is not working there anymore. We are now living the dream here in China. Okay. I told Bob not to do that. You think it was Bob running down the street? Pattaya Bob? Get out of those Speedos, buddy. Somehow, Pattaya Bob doesn't seem like a Speedos kind of guy. Nor am I. I have never worn Speedos, and I never will. I don't particularly like them. Yes, I have used Wise many times. In fact, I used it the other day. I highly recommend them. Once you're set up, man, it didn't take that long to set up, but once you're set up, it's a piece of cake. You transfer the money, you got it in seconds most of the time. Once in a while, there'll be a little bit of a holdup, but most of the time, piece of cake, man. Piece of cake. Wise is awesome. And actually, Tom, if you want to sign up with Wise, I will give you a link because you know what? If you sign up through my link, I get a little chunk of money. I don't remember how much it is even because I haven't done it, and I meant to put it up on my website. But yeah, and I'm not just saying that to get the money. They really are great. Jono uses them. A lot of people I know use them. Yeah. Oh shit. I have to go into the app to. Hang on one second. Sorry about that. Yeah, let me see here. I'm going to put that up right now. Here we go. If you would like to, there you go, right there. Doesn't cost you anything. It's fantastic. So, and you know, I would say I've been using them since they were Transferwise for a couple of years now, and maybe once I had a bit of a problem where I thought, it says you should receive your your transfer in a few minutes. And then, I didn't get it for 30 minutes and it kept pushing it back saying, we're having some problems. And the reason was the network was congested with a lot of people trying to transfer the money. And I got it in like 2 hours or something. But the majority of the time, if you transfer money, it's in your bank account in seconds, man. And I don't even use my ATM. This is another thing. I don't use my ATM card from the United States, which is a Visa debit card. I don't use it to take money out anymore. Never. Because I never transfer money. I never take out, I don't need to take out, 200 baht or 500 baht from America. I never have to do that. So basically I transfer, let's say that I transfer 15,000 baht, right? Well, the fee's a lot less, and I get it in a few seconds, so I don't even have to go to the ATM. It's like, then it goes to your Thai bank account. So, it's well worth it. Yeah, Wise is, to me, it's fantastic, and I dare say that the banks don't particularly like it because they're basically bypassing them. And they're just like what is it? Zoom, Zelle, PayPal. What's that other one about Venmo, which for some reason I can't sign up with. They're just like them, except you get the money in your bank account right away. And even the Cash App. If somebody sends me, let's say somebody sends me 10 Bitcoin, I cash that money out, and basically then it goes to the cash portion of the app, and it'll say, do you want to transfer this and pay a fee, or do you want to transfer it and it's free? If you transfer it with a fee, it's instantaneous that it gets in your bank account. If you transfer it without a fee, then it will be there like the next day or in 2 days. Depends on when you're sending it, the timing and everything. So it's really, really good. I really, this is one thing I'm amazed at the technology, and this is one of the things about the internet that I don't complain about. Social media, listen, it for me it's a tool. It gives me a way to communicate with people in a little bit more of a business type setting. For kids who are in school, bringing in their phones and playing on TikTok or Facebook or whatever it is, I think it's a disaster. And I think that that's one of the reasons. The United States, I don't want to get into it, but the people in the United States now, I think this last generation and the generation before me, they're going to have some problems when they grow up. You know, the world is not all about TikTok and, you know, oh, I'm going to become an Instagram influencer. Look at my big titties. You know, it's not how it works. We're gonna get stomped on by some of these other countries, and they're already bettering the United States in many ways, just because we're concentrating on different areas, you know, than we used to. Anyway, let's see. Was there anything else? Anyway, so I guess the point is with the wearing a speedo. You know, I'll tell you one little story, one quick story here. I went with a buddy of mine, Dutch buddy, and he brought his girlfriend. Now he's tattooed and he's a bit wild and everything, but very respectful, nice guy. And I met him in the Netherlands. He came over to Thailand a couple of times, but he came here and brought his girlfriend. His girlfriend had rather large breastises. She had big boobs. And we went out one night. This was in Nong Khai. We went out one night. It was like the only little bar in the whole town that was open when we went, or that we could find, And he's dressed in. Yeah, I'm dressed in a pair of shorts. He's in a pair of shorts. We got a shirt on or whatever. She's dressed in like a pair of short shorts and like a bikini top that is extremely small. So, I mean, her breasts are popping out of her top. They're basically hanging out. And I didn't say anything, but I mean, all the Thai guys in the club were staring at her, and it was then that I thought to myself, wow, And I actually told her afterwards, I think, I said to her, I know that you want to be yourself, but like this is Thailand, you should probably cover yourself up a little bit. And she did. She didn't go walking around with her breast hanging out. But that was it's similar to this. I mean, listen, I don't understand the whole Speedo thing. You got some guy, he's like 65 years old, and he's got 14 rolls on him, and he's not remotely fit or attractive, and yet he's got it's almost like he's got a thong bikini on, barely covering up his little 1-inch pecker. I don't understand it. So to run down the street like that just reeks of, what's the word I'm looking for? Insensitivity to the culture where you are. And if you live here, I think just all in all, you ought to be respectful. Be respectful to the culture. I mean, you go into the train, you don't scream and yell. You don't need to scream and yell. Even talking, you talk with each other. You talk, but you kind of keep it down because people are not yapping. It's just what they do. You can talk a little bit, keep it down. I just don't get it, man. And, Pattaya is a place where foreigners get away with a lot. And, I understand they come there for a reason. They come there to have a good time. No, not those kind of thongs. I'm talking about the thong that goes up the crack of the ass. Anyway, now one last thing. Some Thai tourists apparently went to South Korea. Little holiday. 67 Thai tourists filed complaints with the tourism department, urging tour operators to provide them with refunds of 1.4 million baht in total after entry into South Korea was denied. Jaturan Pakdiwanit, Deputy Director General of the Tourism Department, said the complaints were under investigation. Only 2 holiday makers purchased their tours directly from a big wholesale company, while the remainder made transactions with 15 retail companies. The initial investigation indicated that 3 of the companies were unlicensed companies, while one tour firm did not appear in any type of business registration. After receiving complaints between August 5th to 17th, the department found that most of the tourists said they did not receive a refund of their tour package despite not being able to make the trip due to denial of entry, or the tour companies confiscated a 10,000 baht deposit, which was meant to be a guarantee that the tourists would not seek to work illegally on their arrival. Next week, the department will meet the tour operators and ask them to declare their actual operational cost in order to return fares to customers. Well, I don't know why they would be denied. Mr. Jataran said the tour companies must be responsible for a refund after deducting all necessary costs. Listen, they paid for the flight to go over there. I don't know why they were denied entry, but maybe it will say here. Let me just continue. If there are additional expenditures resulting from the alteration of flights, tour companies had to allocate new return flights after being denied entry, and immigration operators can deduct the airfare from the package before refunding the customers. The cost of the return flights, which must be arranged immediately, would be usually more expensive than the advance booking. For instance, if the incident happened on Jeju Island, where I went, I was there for about a week. Tour companies have to charter a plane to carry passengers back if there are insufficient seats available on scheduled flights. I don't even remember for the life of me how much it cost to get there, but I went there, and yeah, it was all right. It was a bit rainy and windy. We believe that all companies will follow the rules, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let me see here. It's difficult to track the tour companies which deliberately accompany illegal workers abroad by putting them in regular tour groups, as most of them are unregistered businesses. Yeah, this is a clusterfuck. I'll just put it that way. I don't even want to continue here. It doesn't tell say the reason why they were denied entry. But listen to this. Charan Wangananon, president of the Thai Travel Agents Association, said outbound package sales to South Korea have dropped dramatically over the past week after more tourists were unable to receive refunds from tour companies. Some tourists also want to refrain from taking trips for a while as they are worried about being refused entry and losing money. The whole company that is under investigation is operating very cheap package tours which resemble the notorious $0 tours offered to Chinese tourists in recent years. I don't know. I don't understand this. You know, it's my understanding that if you're a Thai, you don't even need a visa to get into South Korea. I don't know. Let's say that you do. Do you? Thai passport holders do not need a visa to travel to South Korea from Thailand for 90 days or less. However, Thai nationals can only enter South Korea without a visa if they have a valid South Korea ETA. This electronic visa waiver is quick and easy to obtain, and the process is completely online. So they need to get this Korea ETA thing, this electronic waiver, in order to be able to enter the country. And my guess is these people probably don't have that. I don't know. Yeah, it used to be Singapore was the big place, and I knew a girl who she wanted me to go to Singapore with her, take her over as my girlfriend, and she would pay me. And then I started looking into it, and I went, I don't want to get into this. I didn't want to get involved. And I said no. Which irritated her a little bit because, you know, I was her golden ticket. Anyway, so there you have it. We got we'll see what happens with weed. South Korea's open, as far as I know. Seven days ago. You have to go through a special immigration. What is this? Special immigration process to prevent the spread. Last updated on August 12th. Fill out a health questionnaire and travel record declaration. Upon arrival, proceed to check temperature and submit documents at quarantine checkpoint. It's basically like it is here. Now let's see this quarantine procedure. Asymptomatic. All travelers are required to take a PCR test within 1 day after arriving in Korea. Short-term visitors can take a PCR test at the testing center in Incheon International Airport or a nearby medical clinic at their own expense. And if you show symptoms, you'll be in a hospital for at least a week. So yeah, you can get in, and it's not that difficult. I got a page here for those who are interested in looking. I will send it over to you. There you go, right there. Alrighty then. Another stream done. Klajopkon. We are all finished. Kabkun tukon samrapkan rapchon chom. Thank you for watching. I've got these new phrases, and I don't usually say these things, so I never remember them. I do know dule toeng, which means take care of yourself. Leo jerk and mine, nah? Which obviously I know what that means. See you later. That actually means see you when I see you again, which I didn't know that. I thought it was just see you later, but it also means see you when I see you again. Leo jerk and mine. Leo jerk on. So, do me a favor, please leave a thumbs up. Don't forget, before you split, leave a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'd appreciate it. Look down in the description. There's all kinds of links down there. There's even crypto links now. And you can get my merch at anamericaninbangkok.com. Supposedly, my merch is supposed to go back up onto YouTube, where you can buy right inside of YouTube. I don't know if that's going to work or not. I'm waiting to find out. But anyway, it's neither here nor there. Kanina means that is all. Kapkun. All right, guys. I will talk to you later. See you when I see you.